heck is this?
Oh.
What the heck?
Well, good morning. Fun day today. We are doing a herd analysis is what we are doing. It's March right now, beautiful day, a little bit of snow on the ground. We've got some cloud cover. Wanted to kind of start to get an idea of how many deer are actually in my area. So we contacted Mike over at Drone Deer Recovery. I'm sure you've been seeing videos on this. He's got some great deer recovery videos already out there on YouTube. Most importantly today, we are going to be hitting a lease of mine, and we're going to be hitting my own personal property, and we are going to be doing a herd analysis. We're going to be doing a deer count to see exactly how many deer we've got in the area. So they're flying in right now from Ohio. I'm heading to the airport. We're going to pick them up, and we're going to get to work. We got a busy day ahead.
Yeah, good definitely. To meet you.
Good to meet you too.
Yeah. It's a little freezing out here.
Good, I told you it was gonna be a little chilly today.
I'm ready. This is gonna be pretty exciting to see how many deer are sitting out here. So it's kind of fun. And I found these guys on TikTok months back, and it's kind of taken the outdoor industry by force. So pretty excited to actually see it firsthand. Thermals are awesome.
Got it this week. How's it going, folks? I'm Mike with Drone Deer Recovery. Today we're with Todd Graff on his big lease he's got, and we're gonna do a herd analysis for him. He's not, I mean, you've seen the videos, right?
Yeah.
But
oh yeah.
Seeing it in person, it's a game changer. We just got our TV set up. I don't know if you guys have seen this yet, but we started bringing this out in the field. That way you guys can see exactly what we're seeing without having to, you know, your bad breath. I don't need that on.
Yeah,
me,
and I don't need your COVID, so that's perfect.
So cool. We're gonna launch here.
Are you guys gonna put some boots on? Or you gonna leave these slippers on, or what? Huh?
Shoot your feet.
Don't worry, I got Brandon filming too. These guys show up. I mean, these guys from Drone Deer Recovery, you'd think they'd show up with a little bit warmer gear. All they want to do is do this thing from the truck. I hope you guys aren't this soft all the time.
Oh, we are soft. It is a little bit of a game changer because we don't necessarily have to go out and walk in the deep snow and stuff. The technology in the industry is wild, changing the end.
Well, this is going to be exciting. We've got a lot of bets on how many deer are on this lease. So we'll kind of save those numbers to the end. At this point right now, we'll have everyone kind of comment below on how many deer do they think are on this piece of property. Now, I'll give you a few more details on this particular lease that we're on. It's about, I want to say right around maybe 1,000 acres. So comment below.
What makes you want to do this analysis on your big lease?
Well, you know, I'll be honest with you. It's less so much about, for me, doing the herd count as it is honestly learning this technology, right? We've spent a bunch of time in the car talking about, you know, deer recovery. But you know what, this time of the year, you always wonder, how many deer do I have on this property? And how many deer are coming, or coyotes, and just kind of just having an idea of how many deer are here. You know, this is really about education more than anything, right? We put all these food plots in. We know we're pulling deer from other areas, so I think this will just be kind of a tall tale of how many deer. Like, we've all been guessing how many we think are here.
Now
I think Kurt is wrong, personally, and I think a couple other people that hunt here with us might be wrong, but we're going to find out. That's what makes it fun. So we're going to, I mean, looking at this equipment and based upon the things that you've told me, we're going to find out here pretty quick.
You're convinced without even seeing it yet?
I am more than convinced after seeing the little bit that you've already showed me that we're going to be counting deer here pretty quickly.
Good deal.
We'll have to wait to see how good these guys can count. Hopefully you guys can count, man. I heard some of you guys from Ohio. I mean, we were talking about education in the car.
Oh, no! He's gonna bring up that I only got an 8th grade education.
Now listen, but when we were in the car, we made it very clear, life is not about how much education you got. It's about how hard you're willing to work for it. And these guys here are working for it, and they're grinding. So this is going to be exciting, and
let's do it.
Let's do it. Let's do the count, guys. We got a couple other properties we want to make it today, so let's roll it out.
I already can't feel my fingers, but that's just normal.
Yeah, that's just part of the job, man. Part of the job.
Every day for it. I didn't even meet you. I'm Kevin, by the way. different.
Are you the one that thought that the deer mounts
No, that's different.
It's so funny. You know, he didn't grow up in hunting whatsoever.
That's funny.
So.
I love it.
Our main goal was to get an idea of how many deer were on the property so we can properly decide how many does we should harvest in the future and how to build a healthy herd. Well, the count is on. We've got 2 drones up in the air right now. We went ahead and took this lease. We quartered it out on how they're gonna go and start doing their grid search and start doing their number count. So they're expecting this to take less than about an hour, hour and 15 minutes. So we'll see how quickly they can do this count. Obviously, when they encounter areas like cedar trees and stuff like that, they might have to slow down a little bit. But obviously, with it being this window today between 2, well, right now it's, I don't know, hang on for 1 second. Right now it's 11:37. We're expecting a lot of these deer to be pretty much bedded down right now. So we're not expecting to find too many deer in these open agricultural fields. They're going to be bedded down near probably a lot of the food plots, but they're going to check just about every square inch of this property, and we're going to soon have a count.
Nothing can hide from thermal.
This is cool.
That's what's cool.
This is cool.
Yep.
Yeah.
So 3 more.
Dude, look at that.
So that's 24x, and this deer is a long way from us.
That is insane.
Wow. That's great. How about that, huh?
Yeah, do we have your big shed buck? Big shed.
Look at that. They just located a big shed buck right now.
He's here now. Yeah, he's got a forehead on
He's
him.
got a heck of a head.
If he had a white patch on his side, I could tell you exactly which deer it is.
Yeah,
That's going to be the only shed buck I'll recognize.
My hands got to a point where they're not cold anymore because I can't feel them. Oh my gosh, here's
Oh,
a
yeah.
Yeah, there's a nice
There's a
little.
pot of them.
Well, right now we are flying at about, I think he said 300-400 feet, and you can see a pod of deer. He'll zoom back out here in a second. You'll just see the red thermals. Right now they're zoomed in. There's the thermals where you can see the deer, but you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 deer right there in that pod, all bedded down just on the edge of of a clear cut there. Now he's zoomed in. Now you can actually see this deer bedded right there. Look at them, they're just bedded. Perfect time to do this. It's right now noon, so we expected most of these deer to be bedded down, and sure enough, you know, they're all bedded down right there. That is fantastic.
It's everything that I witnessed on TikTok.
Right now on the screen,
We're
right this
looking at a
moment,
deer bed that
we
was
are-
probably there 8 hours ago.
literally just found a deer bed. I mean, look at the quality
Look at the deer tracks.
of this. And you could literally see the deer tracks right in there. And guys, Kurt didn't go over there and do this morning. I mean, we literally just found this as we're flying around here. Now he's zooming out, and you can see
A couple more.
Yeah, those are old deer beds.
those are all. Those are deer beds. Those little hot spots.
Yep.
Because those deer were bedded there. They heated up the ground, so what appears to be a deer, but actually it's just a bed from a heat signature from a deer being there, you know, who knows how many hours ago. But super, super, super cool.
I guess you could probably tell by you've looked at it enough from the temperature of the bed. I heard you say 8 hours or so there.
Yeah,
So
I'm guessing.
kind of a guess in that.
Yeah, just a
Now
guess.
let's zoom back in on that deer real quick. Now we just located a deer, so here you can see, bam, zooms right in. You can see the deer right here, the ears. Perfect video. I mean, that is just incredible, guys. People have asked about, man, are the drones going to spook deer? Is this survey going to blow deer off my property? I mean, take a look at this here, guys. This drone is up in the air. It's a little windy here today, not too bad. I think this drone's flying at how many feet?
400.
400?
396.
396 feet. I mean, literally, this deer has no idea
No clue.
that drone is
Looking at it.
looking right at her. So Super cool. We're gonna continue on with the count. Remember, comment below on how many deer are on this piece of property. Very, very, very cool.
If we'd have had this this year, we would have found Todd's buck in about 2 minutes. I wouldn't have had to walk around with a flute.
You know
Doggone it.
There's always has got to be about the fact that I'm the one who needs help finding my deer. Every video turns into that.
Doggone.
You know, every single time. That's okay. That's all right. I'm a big boy. I got big shorts. I can handle this.
I was gonna
Keeps
say,
guys like these in business, right?
You know,
broad shoulders.
someone's got to help you guys, you know, for the future.
Yeah. Well, we're counting lots of deer out here. There's a buck.
There, all right. There we go. That's nice. Hang on, let me get a video of that.
Just found the first antlered buck because most of these bucks have probably shedded. Whew. And I'm nice and warm. The sunshine is blowing on me.
You're big. Kevin's over here. I think Kevin might go to the hospital for frostbite after this. He's so cold.
But
That
yeah,
was cool.
lots of deer out here. It's going to take a minute because there's that many.
You know, I know wildlife agencies have tried to find ways to do deer counts like this without using drones. You know, they've either done it with helicopters. They've also just done it purely just from hunters and trying to get like numbers from hunters in areas. But when it comes to getting this quality of a count on a piece of property, I don't think you can get anything any better. The helicopters, which I've seen them in action before, they just spook so many deer out of the area and they just start scattering that, you know, it's really hard to get a super accurate count. As far as getting participation from hunters in areas, kind of just submitting numbers, I mean, so many times the number that they can give you could be skewed so quickly because deer come, they go, you're not sure if it's the same deer. But with the drones, they are literally able to be so efficient, and literally we have found in a few spots today where the deer have actually got up out of their beds and they've started to move, but because when they're flying the drone, they can drop pins where we've located deer, so we know when we see them move, we're able to kind of just keep on moving and not double count them. Super, super impressive. I mean, this is probably about the most accurate way that I can imagine for being able to do a count like this, for sure.
It's like a video game. And like, I can't believe I get paid to fly drones and look at deer.
Yeah,
I mean, what? About as good as it gets.
More deer than you were expecting?
You know what? This is actually way better than I was expecting. I mean, I didn't realize they had this extra screen that they set up where you and I could just sit here and watch what they're seeing. I mean, this is just phenomenal. I mean, the detail in what you can see. I mean, we just zoomed in on a buck that has not shed yet. Right now, I'm literally looking at a couple of beds, you know, which are throwing off a heat signature because they were there earlier today. It could have been 2-3 hours ago, but it's warmed that ground up enough to where it looks like a heat signature, so we know something's been there. And then of course you don't go much further and then you find the deer because they're just kind of getting up, moving around, setting down again. But again, when you're doing these type of surveys, you want this overcast, we've got snow on the ground, so we have the most minimal amount of additional interference from any other heat signatures that are out there, whether it be a rock or a log that was getting beat by the sun. So we could not have gotten a better day for this. So the count is on. If you have not taken a moment to comment below on how many deer are on this lease of ours, better get going. It's cool when you see that drone just flying up there. Then you come over here and you look at the screen and you see the deer and we're able to zoom in. It's something else. This is cool technology, that's for sure. I just used my phone here when they were doing the herd count. We just found this really big buck. He's still holding both of his antlers here. You can zoom in. I mean, look at that right there. He's still got both of his antlers here. It's almost March 13th or whatever his day is, holding both of them. I mean, that's a nice buck.
Right.
He's probably a 4.5-year-old.
I
Just a
think
good, healthy looking
if it is
deer.
that double throw patch 9, he's a 4-year-old.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. I mean,
if we could get him to look up at the drone, I'd be able to tell you immediately.
well, right now we're currently at. You thought I was going to say the number. If you haven't commented below, you better get going, because one lucky winner is going to win a sweet package from us. Whoever guesses the number of deer before the next guy. This isn't send out 4 or 5 packages. This is the first person to guess how many deer are on our lease here. So get guessing.
So how are you planning on cheating, Kurt?
Yeah.
So I said we can't tell you guys the number in the video, because if someone's smart, like my dad will be the first person to watch the video, and he'll probably fast forward to the end, figure out the number, and comment right away. So we might have to make you guys wait to see how many deer are
No. Not we're gonna make you wait. This is gonna be a 2-part series.
So we're gonna
Series
make you
1
wait.
is the herd population count. Then during the podcast is when we're gonna announce how many deer we found. So this video is gonna hit first. You put your voting in, then we drop the podcast, because Mr. Cheater over here.
If you ain't cheating, you ain't trying.
Yeah, well. So this is a new farm that I just purchased about a year ago, and this will be kind of an interesting count to do, because there has been CWD found in this area, and just north of me is a state park where they have been doing some sharpshooting of deer. So this is going to be kind of interesting to kind of lay out how many deer are on this farm right here. I'm truthfully expecting a significantly lower number of deer here, because that's basically what I've been observing. Definitely expecting a few less deer. We're only going to survey here about 200 acres to get a quick rough number here. As you can tell, Mike and Jason are moving super duper fast, because the sun is starting to come out, which is going to cause some trouble. So these guys are moving really quick, so I'm going to shut my mouth. These guys are getting set up. I'm going to lay out the parameters so they know where to start looking. The goal was to get a good, solid count of the number of deer on the property before I start all my habitat improvements. They've already spotted a few deer. Let's go see what they're seeing. Back at it. Well, what we're doing right now, guys, we're going as quickly as we can go, because unfortunately, as you can see, the sun is starting to break loose here. So it just ends up showing so many more spots where it looks hot. So really requires the guys to have to slow down, because there's just a lot more heat signatures starting to pop up. It's not that they can't do the job, it just requires them to really slow down. We've already started finding a few deer and a few turkey. Now, luckily in this case here, there's a lot less ground to cover. This is a much smaller piece that we're on right here. So let's see what we find out.
Looks to me like just a bunch of nerds doing stuff.
Nerds doing nerd stuff. Has anyone found a deer yet?
Oh, yeah.
That's that tree line that I planted going this way. I know right where he's at.
Where that buck was dead that you and I found.
Over there. That's exactly where we thought he was, yeah.
The sun put the pressure on us again. It seems every time we make a video, we're like, go, 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 go.
Everyone's going so fast. Well, we just had Jason land his drone. He's going to get some fresh batteries. So we're going to put Jason to the test here. What we did is we went ahead and we sent Kurt out to see if he can hide from Jason. Now, we'll see if Jason is as good as he says he is. He says with certainty he's going to find Kurt within minutes. So we're going to put Jason to the test as soon as he puts those 2 batteries in that drone. He's going to get it back up in the air, and we're going to go see if we can find Kurt. Kurt's going to be our subject. He's, of course, a little buck, so he's going to act like we shot and killed him, and we're going to see if we can find him. So here we go. Hey, Kurt. Listen, they really want this video to turn out good. So they want you to take off as much clothes as you can so you have as much thermal showing, because they just don't want to do a video and have it not look good. So if you can maybe even get down to like a t-shirt, would be great. And then just pull your pants down and stuff. So it's really just the heat signature. Dude, listen, it's for the video, man. Just pull your pants down, lay out in the snow. It will look good. Don't worry about it, okay? Don't just wait until I tell you, because I don't want you to get frostbite or nothing. So you just wait till I tell you, okay? All right, sounds good. Yeah, you know, if you could just kind of just be on the edge of the woods, like, you know, like a real deer. I don't want Jason to hear me because he's getting all ready with the drone. But, you know, again, we really want that heat signature to be strong. So as much skin showing as possible, okay? Okay, bye.
Is he gonna do it?
He's gonna do it. Oh shit! Oh, I didn't think he'd fall. I didn't think he'd fall for it. Okay, so Jason, here we go, man.
All right.
I shot a small buck this morning. Okay, this is a little buck.
Okay.
We sent Kurt out there. Not gonna tell you where he is.
All
okay.
right.
So basically, you know, just
somewhere
so
in that woods.
well, yeah. I mean, you know, like I was hunting over here this morning. You know, that's stand right there.
Yep.
You see that stand right there? We hit him, and then he went, and we jumped him once, and he went back over that way. Okay.
Right.
So pretty much that's your section to go find him. So
we'll start
sorry
looking
about
over
that.
there.
All right.
See what we can find.
Here we go. Let's see if we find him.
Oh shit, what the heck is this? Oh.
What the heck is this?
Oh.
What the heck?
We'll have to zoom in here and see what we got. Did you find it already?
What the?
He really listened to us, too. Leave it to Kurt.
What? Oh my god.
Only Kurt, man. I give him credit.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, that's perfect.
Hilarious.
What we'll do now is we'll wait about 10 minutes to call him. Dude, we were just kidding about having you stripped down. We already found you. I can't believe you followed through with this.
I gotta see it now.
Oh, dude, oh, you just mooned us. Oh. That's great, dude. All right, now listen, we're going to do it one more time, okay? So this time we want you in the woods. I mean, that was a good simulation of, you know, a buck kind of bedded on the edge there. So go ahead and dive into the woods. Well, you saw Kurt. He actually, I can't believe it. He actually followed through and took his clothes off. I was kidding. I really didn't think he would follow through and do that. But amazing how quickly Jason was able to throw that drone up in the air, check those woods, bam. He got on that thermal within, I mean, seriously, within minutes. That was pretty amazing. What we did this time is we sent Kurt now into the woods. You know, he was on the edge of a field that time. So now he's in the woods. Let's see what Kurt's up to now, and let's see how quick Jason can find him. Jason, your drone's ready to roll?
Ready to roll.
Where's it at? Okay, so we're sitting right now at how many feet?
We're at 200.
So we're right now, Jason's got this drone. It's at 200 feet. I mean, Jason obviously knows we're in this woods here, but this would be no different as if I called him and I did shoot a deer. Like, you generally know where you shot the deer. You generally probably have already looked for some blood. You've probably already started that blood trail out. Then you lose the sight of the deer, or maybe you jump it once, but you generally have an idea where it is, and that's kind of what we're doing right now. So
I think I got him.
oh, sweet. Let's take a look. Leave it to Kurt to be funny. What's he doing? Holding toilet paper?
Yep.
You see him? Oh my God. There's good old Kurt. That's unbelievable. And now, let me see what you're seeing. And sure enough.
Yeah, there he is.
There he is. He's got his toilet paper out and everything. Well, guys. Well, Brandon. I mean, I don't know what more you want us to say here, guys. I mean, if you're in a situation, you lose your deer and you need help, I'm going to tell you right now, drone deer recovery, these guys are going to be able to give you a hand. They've got a heck of a business that they've started. They've been working hard at this thing. Just started it actually last year. We're going to be filming a complete podcast after this video here where we're going to talk and really do a deep dive in the technology and all the different things that these guys are up to. But I mean, this is amazing. We've been to my lease. We've been to my personal farm. We went ahead and did a herd count or analysis to see how many deer were on the property. And in this case here, I mean, it's amazing. I mean, we have found a coyote, we found turkey, we found deer. You're able to zoom in with this 200X camera and literally just see the deer bedded. We have found situations where deer have been bedded in spots, have got up, moved, and there's still that heat signature from the bed. But again, because these cameras are so powerful, you know, it's not a problem. We know for a fact that those weren't deer, so we weren't just picking out like heat signature spots and then putting that into the deer count. It's so cold out here today that my cheeks are starting to freeze up. So I'm done talking. This has been an incredible day. Have learned all kinds of things. Drone deer recovery, these guys got it going on. They've got the technology, they've got the knowledge. You find yourself in a tough situation or you want to do a herd count on your property, give these guys a call. They got it going on. Well, that was one of the best days I've had in a long time as far as deer hunting stuff goes, Justin. I know we've talked, and I know you're going to get into it on me, whatever. This is what people that are bored and whatever. I've heard every comment already from Justin before I started this, but
I'm just trying to get you to think, Doc.
Forget about the thinking. I'm thinking. You know what? When I saw the drone and I saw the coolness of what can be learned from having a drone and being able to recover deer, do a study of the number of deer on your property, whether you should buy a piece of property or not based upon the deer that you see on a piece. It's amazing, and this opens up a whole nother level of thinking. Like, dude, this is like the first time you actually had an app with all your deer stands on it, right? Like, you just think about it. I go back in time when you and I, think about, dude, go back 30 years ago when you didn't even have a topographical map. It was a map. It literally was a map. Think about that. And now we have
a topo map versus an aerial map.
Right, versus on your computer now. Like, dude, this is cool. It was a great day. I'm gonna get this out of the way.
It looked cold to me.
It was super cold. We could not have picked the worst day, but it was amazing. The technology is amazing. I know you've got a bunch of questions. All I can tell you is that I'm giving the drone with infrared an A++, 5-star. It's not 218,000 reviews based on this new thing that Justin wants me to take for my creaky joints. Collagen. Okay, so collagen, it's not that.
Peptides. It's good for you.
But I'm giving it a 5-star A+. I would buy one of those.
Fair enough. All right. There's a lot of talking there, Graf.
Go ahead.
You good? You good?
I'm good. I'm not saying a word.
So, a couple things with all this. I'm 100% in agreement. The technology is amazing. The question is like, is drone recovery ultimately going to replace tracking dog recovery? I mean, that's a whole separate topic.
We are going to handle that at a later
we will
date.
Address later. I guess in terms of the deer survey, I know we have to wait until the next episode to talk about the actual number of deer found on the larger farm.
Right, but you had questions. Go ahead.
Well, let's talk about your farm specifically, right? Part of the reason you wanted to do this, and I guess this goes for both farms, right, is because as hunters, I feel like we are biased in that we always feel like there's not as many deer here as we want there to be, right? Let's face it. We want to see deer every time we go hunting,
yes,
and we want to see a lot of them.
Yes.
That's what makes for a good hunting season
You're
for
watching
us.
this right now, and I know you're saying yes.
Of
Who
course,
doesn't
of
say
course.
yes?
So, in doing this, I think you probably went into it with an idea of like, I'm going to confirm my suspicion that there's not as many deer here as there should be, or that I think there should be. So with your farm in particular, how many deer were on it, and how does that compare to what you thought you would have on it?
I knew this was coming, folks. I just knew it. There's no doubt since the purchase.
Just answer my question. Answer the question. How many deer were on your farm?
I believe the number was 42.
42 deer, and how many acres? About 200-ish?
180.
180. There was 42. That's a lot of deer for 180 acres.
But again, this is March, cold, and I have the food. And in my particular area, I think there are less people doing some of the habitat stuff around me versus other people's properties.
But we don't necessarily know that. So we think that. So you guys only surveyed your property. So is it legal to go fly over and survey someone else's property?
Absolutely.
Like there's nothing that would stop you from doing that?
No, you can do it.
Because what really would have been beneficial if you guys had more time was to survey, let's say, a 600-acre chunk, so 1 square mile, see how many deer were in that total square mile, and then how many of them were on your piece.
That would have, yes.
You're right. It is possible that you had some deer congregated on your piece.
And I'm going to still stick with my gut feeling, and I plan on doing additional surveys in the future because I want to kind of test my theory. I eventually do want to redo this survey during maybe the summer months. It's going to be a little more harder to do because obviously you have leaf cover and stuff like that. But and then even in the fall, I mean, I do want to continue to see if I can get a better number of how many deer are going to be living on the property. Now again, my property is brand new. It's fresh. I have not started with all of the habitat stuff that I want to do because I want to. No, dude,
you've done a halfway decent amount of work.
No, are you crazy? There's nothing been done. It just started. No, you're wrong. Justin is 100% wrong right now. My CRP contract ends at the end of this year. And then I will be able to have the ability to convert a lot of cool season grasses into warm season grasses. I'll be able to do much better job with tree plantings. Yes, the clear cut that you've heard me talking about did take place, but a clear cut that just took place within the last month sure may have probably brought in some of those additional deer because there's so much additional food from all those tops. Right. Sure. But seriously, Justin, there has not been a lot of work done on this property like you're thinking. This property is going to take a massive transformation in the next 2 to 3 years.
Okay. So this kind of gives you a baseline.
Yes.
Obviously, you'd probably want to do any subsequent studies around the same time of year.
Yeah.
Like let's say in March, February, March, something like that. The one thing that I will say is we've had a relatively easy winter so far. Like we haven't had a lot of snowfall. We haven't had significantly cold, long durations of cold temperatures. So from everything that I've seen, the deer have been a little bit more spread out in areas. So I always feel like on those winters where we get super cold and a lot of snow, it congregates the deer into those food sources a lot more than they have been this year. So I think the idea that you've like attracted every deer from all the surrounding properties into yours, and that's why there's so many, like
he's not going to let me win.
Well, I can't prove that I'm right and you can't prove that you're right. We're both going to have our theories, but I'm just saying from everything that I've seen this winter, the deer didn't seem to be as congregated and yarded up as they have in years past.
I'm still
just keep it in mind.
The only reason I'm gonna argue with Justin is because of course I have this drone knowledge now. Prior to the drone knowledge over the last, let's just say 2 years that I've had this piece of property, I have a ton of trail cameras. I have trail cameras located in spots where I get a good visual on some pretty big areas. There's no doubt I'm holding more deer right now near the end of March than I was holding during the hunting season. Let's just leave it at that.
And that's based on trail camera pictures.
Well, and my eyeballs and being out there. I mean,
all the leaves are down. They're easier to see. There's snow on the ground. There's a lot. That at least looks like there's more of them this time of year. I'm just saying. I'm
never gonna win.
Confirmation
winning
bias
with Justin
is
is like winning the Illinois Lotto.
Hey, man,
it's just never gonna happen.
I can't prove you wrong. You can't prove me wrong. I'm just saying we should all think about things from both sides.
That's right.
Maybe there just are a good, healthy population of deer there. And
I want more.
And you want more.
That's fine.
But how many, the question really becomes, how many should you have? I think that's, in my mind, that's the question that really needs to be answered from a biologist who says, right, if you've got X amount of, acreage of habitat, I think is what they look at. So like any area a deer would live? Like basically everything excluding, I guess, ag fields, right? How many deer should be living in that section? I don't know what that number is.
Okay, so we're gonna do another video. This is great. There's nothing better than when content is spawned from more content. We're gonna have another video on what's gonna be best in the long run, dogs versus drones, reasons why you'd call one versus the other, because there's gonna be a reason where you still might need a dog versus a drone. So we'll get into that at a later date. And then of course, I think it's time for us to find a biologist and talk about some of the numbers that we did learn and how, if you own property and you wanna manage your herds better, how you can use these drones in a more scientific way. I'm not a scientist. I just like playing with new cool technology. So of course I got to get, yelled at by Justin for saying, oh, you wasted a day and you wasted money to do this. And you know what? I might have.
Those words never came out of my mouth.
That is a lie. I'm telling you, that is a lie.
Hold on. Wait.
I'm not even going to let him say it.
Hold on. There's a difference between wasting money and blowing money. Right?
You may have used the word blow.
I used the word blowing money, not wasting money.
Hey, at the end of the day, we all get to choose how we want to spend our hard-earned bucks, which will be another thing we'll talk about at a later date. But for right now, today, I'm gonna end this by telling you a couple of things. One, if you find yourself in trouble this fall and you need help finding your deer and you're in a state where you're able to use this type of technology, this will work and would be worth the phone call. Number two, if you wanted to do a herd, study, you wanted to get a better idea how many deer you have on your property, whether it's pre-purchase, after purchase, whatever. You know what
I think that's an interesting one. Like paying somebody to come do a survey of a property before you buy it.
Dude, I think that could be a contingency on contracts in the future. I mean, seriously. Yeah, why not? Somebody's getting ready to sell a property and they're claiming it to be this, that, and the other, and
What
they're
if they're
showing all
selling
these
it
trail
in March
cameras.
and the guy down the street, Todd Graff, has got a bunch of food and
Well,
he sucked all the deer over
No
there?
one said you have to buy
the
it.
winter.
No one says you have to. No one says you have to follow through. No one says you have to accept a contingency. It doesn't matter. The point is, I could see this technology being used in a lot of unique and cool ways.
I'm going to use it to spy on you in your tree stands.
There is no doubt. If you're doing anything you
that
shouldn't
legal
be doing,
or not legal?
Stop doing it because you will be caught.
Yeah, 100%. You can't get away with anything
All right,
anymore.
guys, we're ending this episode right here. It's super important that you stay tuned because we've got a follow-up where I think if you're watching this and it was entertaining, it was fun, it was cool, and you kind of opening your eyes to this technology, the next video goes into a much more deeper dive on probably a lot of the questions that you're having right now. So stay tuned. We're always going to bring you some good action and some, I don't know, what did you want to call it? The Justin sarcasm, beat up Todd, whatever you want to call it.
Todd, I am just asking the questions that the viewers want answers to. Somebody's got to do it. It's got to be me.
We did it.
All right, thanks everybody for watching. We'll see you next time. Bowhunt or die.
Don't say that road. We'll do a take two, you ready? Oh, more skin the better, because the thermal will really just pop them. Okay, yeah, t-shirt's good.